I swear to God, beer companies have no idea what they're doing anymore. It's like they completely forgot who their consumer base was for the last several decades. When it comes to Anheuser-Busch, we saw the whole Bud Light fiasco with Dylan Mulvaney, but that seems like that's kind of died down just a tad bit. But another beer company, Miller Lite, actually kind of did something that went under the radar about a month ago. They are literally going woke as well. But instead of using a transgender woman, they're actually using a campaign where they're calling their beer campaigns from back in the 90s sexist, so to speak. It's kind of a weird. They're going the Anita Sarkeesian route with what is going on. So, feminist Miller Lite video goes viral in wake of ongoing Bud Light fallout. Now, again, this kind of went under the radar during the Dylan Mulvaney thing. This was happening as well. And for whatever reason, it just started popping up and people are talking about it. And I wanted to give my take on this because I actually do drink Miller Lite. I prefer it over Bud Light. Now, I can understand the whole concept of, feminism and women's rights and, women need to be empowered. I can get that, which is why I was a little actually kind of triggered when it came to Dylan Mulvaney being praised for 365 days of womanhood. Instead of actually using a woman influencer to promote Bud Light, they use somebody that is biologically a male. So that was part of that, but I'm not against transgenders, okay? Let's go back to that. It was more of a what the fuck is Bud Light thinking type of thing. And Miller Lite, it seems that they're doing this campaign for feminism, which, again, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. On paper, it might sound good, but the execution is always what screws it up. And you're going to see this commercial here that is super freaking cringe. Like, what are they thinking? But looking at this article, it's going to talk about this. It says, apparently the entire beer industry doesn't know who their target audience is. Yeah, apparently not. So a Miller Lite video released in March for Women's History Month is going viral as Bud Light continues to suffer fallout after it partnered with Dylan Mulvaney. The ad, which has been widely shared on social media, features comedian Lana Glazer in vows. I can't read today. Let me take some water. Vows to incorporate more gender equity in Miller Lite advertising. Equity, not equality. There's two different things on that. It also is on a mission to turn sexist beer advertising into fertilizer to be used by female brewers to grow hops. So they're literally going to be taking all of their sexist advertising from back in the day. Remember when beer advertisements used to be bikini women, like swimsuit models holding the fucking beers up, or volleyball girls, with beer advertising? Remember those days? I remember those days. 8-Bit Eric Pepperidge Farm remembers those days. So they are looking to take all the old advertising. They want people to send old advertising to make fertilizer out of it so female brewers can grow hops with it. This is like that book, Fahrenheit 451, right? That was what it was called, where they take all the old books that are banned and they start burning them. They're essentially wanting everybody to send everything that's sexist to Miller Lite, and so they could burn it and make fertilizer from it. I see where they're going, but again, the execution is fucking ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. So let's look at this article or this commercial. I'm all over the place today. I'm sorry about that. It was a long day, but let's look at this commercial.
Here's a little known fact. Women were among the very first to brew beer ever. From Mesopotamia to the Middle Ages to colonial America.
I don't think that's entirely accurate. Among the first to brew beer from Mesopotamia to colonial America, I don't think that's right. Maybe you were in the kitchens or of the breweries having to mix shit and stuff like that, but beer was a men's business back in the day. It took a while for females to even have the rights to even run businesses in the world, like all around. So I wouldn't say in Mesopotamia or even colonial days that women were at the forefront. I gotta say, sus there.
Women were the ones doing the brewing. Centuries later, how did the industry pay homage to the founding mothers of beer? They put us in bikinis.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Bikini advertisements.
Wow.
I like how they blurred the model's face, by the way. Look, all old school advertising back there. I remember that. I remember seeing those literally hanging like in bars and some of my older friends' bedrooms back in the 90s, early 2000s.
Look at this wild. It's time beer made it up to
Bring those back. If I was a brewery, I would bring back bikini-clad women.
women. So today, Miller Lite is on a mission to clean up not just their but the whole beer industry's
So, this is almost like the opposite of what Bud Light did. And I'm not triggered. Don't get me wrong. I'm not fucking triggered. But it's like, do you know who your core audience of consumers is? It's men. Why are you attacking them? Why are you calling them sexist? Why are you suddenly having this woke change of heart where men bad, feminism good? At this point, just make a feminist beer.
Miller Lite has been scouring the internet for all this and buying it back so that they can turn it into good for women brewers.
So they're wanting to turn all the old advertising into good shit.
Literally, good How, you ask? Ladies, take it away.
First, we turn the bad into compost.
Yeah.
Then we feed compost to war.
They're gonna make compost. It's almost like, is this an April Fool's joke? Like it's almost produced to where it can't even be taken seriously. Like that's how outrageous it is.
Push out beautiful fertilizer. That good helps farmers grow quality hops,
which is then donated to women brewers to make their own really good
Like, imagine hating men this bad to where you make your company's newest ad campaign against the whole idea that women were being used as sex symbols for advertising. Women have been used for sex symbols in advertising for all sorts of things, from cigarettes to sodas to apparel to cars. I mean, remember Lowrider magazine? They always had a bikini girl in the front.
But there's definitely more out there. In your attic, in the garage, in your parents' basement. Send any you got into Miller Lite, and they'll turn that into good too.
Now, I tried to look up that MillerLite.com/bad shit to good shit URL, and it doesn't work anymore. So I'm wondering if Miller Lite quietly dropped this campaign when they saw how bad Bud Light was getting slaughtered.
Oh. So here's to women, because without us, there would be no beer.
Like, why does it have to be like a bad competition? Just be like, hey, we want to bring awareness to women and blah, blah, blah. Like, why does it have to be some kind of like spiteful ad campaign? It's not even funny. Like, if you made it funny, it would be, I guess, something that could be lighthearted. But it just seems like it's always on the defense when it comes to feminist. And I will never get that. I will never honestly get that from the bottom of my heart. Like, it's like an attack always. And I think, honestly, they are lucky. They are thanking their lucky stars that the Dylan Mulvaney stuff kind of overshadowed this, because this was this last month, too. And Bud Light's partnership with Dylan Mulvaney caused them to have tremendous blowback, drop in sales, boycotts from both sides, from the consumers and the LGBTQ community, an initial drop in market value. So I feel that maybe, they quietly learned from Bud Light's mistake, because, again, I have no idea what is going on with some of these companies. They suddenly want to try to be controversial and put identity politics and all this mumbo jumbo behind it. Now, I think looking into this, it's another case of them hiring somebody as a executive or a senior official or senior director or something in marketing, and they have absolutely no clue because they have a political agenda. In fact, continuing at this article, you can see right here, it says, Since going viral, people have begun looking at who might be behind the advertisement. Miller Lite Senior Director of Marketing Elizabeth Hitch told Forbes in March that her brand played a contributing role to sexism in the past. We've been collecting our and other brands' outdated old sexist ads, displays, and posters for months. We have been buying and removing any pieces we could find on the internet. It's ridiculous. She also said that the idea behind the campaign is to recognize that the beer industry as a whole hasn't recognized women or given them the credit they deserve. Well, they could do it without being, social justice warriors about it. It's like, what the fuck, They want to rectify the damage that was done alienating women from beer. Gag me from a fucking spoon. Now, this says in another interview from early March, Molson Coors Beverage Company's chief marketing officer, Sophia Colucci, told Ad Age, we've also made Miller Lite more inclusive by bringing more beer lovers in, from our open and proud platform for the LGBT community to Latino efforts with Jay Balvin, and some really amazing work to be more inclusive with women, and that you're going to be seeing next week. And they were referencing the women's history thing. But yeah, I think it definitely has been. Yeah, it says only 2 months after the campaign went live, the video has been scrubbed from Miller Lite's social media. Instagram comments have also been disabled in the campaign ad. People don't want to see this shit, guys. I know some of you guys lean on that side that watch this and you get all triggered and angry at my neckbeard opinion, but nobody wants to see this shit. All right? Nobody. We're tired of this shit. It's outrageous. God.